I just ran a marathon and I'm already thinking, what's next? This is something I believe a lot of people get wrong. And I actually think it's a good thing that once you complete something, you're thinking of the next step, right? Because in my opinion, you end up floating. And honestly, from experience, it's the last thing you want to do, because if you float, you will go backwards. I can guarantee it. But in this video, I want to talk about how to go about setting goals, mistakes people make, and then I'm actually going to touch upon my goals and what I intend to do now the marathon's finished. Why goal setting matters is because I bet this has happened to you before in the past. You've decided to lose weight and you might get started, but how long does that last? And this is a mistake people make, is they are far too vague in what they want to achieve. Then you start to think that motivation is the issue and you are never going to be able to achieve what you set out to achieve. But in reality, it's not the goal. You are far too vague, right? You have no targets to hit, which is in turn not going to allow you to build momentum and see progress, right? Because I want to lose weight is great, but how much weight do you want to lose? Be specific, right? So there are three things that I believe that you should have when doing goal setting, right? Is a destination, a route, and a deadline, okay? So I'm going to go through those three. First up, we have the destination, and this is the goal. But this isn't where you are vague and say something like, I want to be leaner or I want to be fitter. This is where you are very specific in what you want to achieve, right? So if you want to be able to get to 12 or 10% body fat, say that. If you want to be able to feel confident when you walk in a room and be able to fit into a size 32-inch pants, say that. If you want to be able to run a marathon in sub 4 hours, then say that. That's exactly what I did. Something I say to myself and also to a lot of my guys is, if you cannot measure it, you cannot manage it, right? If you can't measure progress, how are you in a position to be able to control that and to be able to identify that you are progressing? Number two is the route. You have the destination, you know exactly where you want to be, you know where you are going, but how are you going to get there, right? I didn't just complete a marathon because I wanted to or I just decided to. I trained for it. I set a very specific route to be able to get that. And this is where a lot of people go wrong, especially when goal setting, is they think, okay, right, I have the destination, that's all I need. You have to be able to plan the route to that destination. What does a successful week look like? What do you need to do in a day, in a week, in a month to be able to achieve or be able to reach the destination? And also, the clearer you are on your route, the easier it is to implement. Because if you know exactly what you're doing, if you have clarity on what you need to do to get to the destination, you're more likely to commit to it, right? And if you understand it and have that clarity, it's easier to stick to. But also, and I will just say this for reference, make sure it's something actually achievable. Number three is a deadline, right? This is one people skip over far too often, and it's probably one of the most powerful tools, because I love Parkinson's law. Now, Parkinson's law is along the lines of a task will only take as long as you give it, right? Think back to a holiday, think back to a special occasion. How much more focused are you knowing you have that 8, 6, 10 weeks to prepare for this event, right? You're committed because you know on that day, that is when this ends. You are going into the event, you're going on holiday, whatever it is, it's your birthday. You are so much more committed to that and disciplined along the way. Because of that dead point, it creates urgency. You know, if you miss a week, that's a week down. And if you haven't got that much time, again, it creates more urgency and it creates discipline out of nothing sometimes. I've done this so many times with myself, whether it's a holiday, I've done photo shoots, I've done the marathon, right? Having that end goal is a massive anchor point. So remember those three things. You need a destination, be very specific on what you want to achieve. Have a route to that destination, but again, be clear on what you need to do to be able to reach that destination. And three is have a deadline, because if you do not, that road will never end. So I hope that helps. And I've used this when looking at my goals now. So obviously the marathon has finished. Now, where is my head at and where do I kind of see myself? Initially, I don't know, I imagine a lot of people had this, especially after kind of lifting for so long, doing their first marathon, was I felt, or I still do, feel so small compared to what I was, and especially my legs. So for the foreseeable future, say for the foreseeable, I'm gonna have a 60-40 split between physique development and running. Okay, so I'm not gonna just neglect running and just push it to one side, because I do, as much as I never thought I'd say this, I do enjoy running. I do. It's part of my life now and a nice part of my routine. But at the end of the day, like, physique development is still super important to me. I do want to progress. I want to get bigger. I want to be leaner, all these things, right? So for the next 8 weeks, I will be doing a deficit. So I will be in a deficit, sorry. So I'll be looking to lose between 6 and 8 kilos, get leaner. And then from there, it will be about doing a long bulk or long gaining phase for the rest of the year. Now, mistakes I have made in the past is I go into gaining phases and lose focus. I'll be very, very honest with that, is I lose focus and the one-off plan meal turns into 2, into snacks, into things like that, as, oh, I can have this. And I typically end up putting on a little bit more body fat than I would have liked, right? I'm not the most leanest person in the world. I'm aiming to get lean. You will see shots of me, of my current physique and whatever. But I will be aiming to get down to close, not what I was in the photo shoot a year or so ago, but close to that. Like, I think I was 81 maybe for the shoot. So I will be around that same scale weight. Again, whether muscle mass is dropped, we'll see. But that's kind of the goal for that. So in terms of specific goals, it will be very much performance based. I'm currently running a new program. So after this first week or two, I will look at the numbers and set some kind of very specific targets that I want to get to, with a flat dumbbell press, with a deadlift, things like that, all the stuff that is in the program. And then with running, I do want to keep my distances high. So I don't want to just kind of max out at 10 or 15K. So I think I will probably go up to 30 again, just ramp it up slowly. I plan on doing another half marathon, maybe 2 at the end of the year. So again, things need to be in order for that. So yeah, it's not as focused on the running side of things. Now it's going to be very much, right, gym performance, because the marathon running performance was all I kind of focused on, right? I wasn't in a deficit. My food was maintenance, so I maintained weight. Training took a bit of a hit, I'm not gonna lie, like the kind of fatigue, running 3 times a week, the mental fatigue and stuff like that. But hey, they were all learning curves, and I think going into the next one, it would be a little bit different. But yeah, so the aim is, between now and the next 8 weeks, is to get as lean as possible, aim for that 8 kilo drop, and then after that, it will be a slow reverse out into a nice lean bulk. Not a bulk, a lean bulk. I won't be in a massive surplus. I'll be in a very small one, maybe 150, 200 calories. But the 100% focus will be on training performance, in terms of that is the core target of the bulk, is to see training performance improve, right? Food is not going to be such a big focus. I will allow, off-plan meal, but with Lan and stuff, it will, she might still be dieting, so we'll see. Right? But that is the plan. And then going into next year, there will likely be a photo shoot and a marathon. I think there was a plan for me to do a photo shoot this year. God, I'm waffling now. But I wanted to do it before my 30th, but it was just with how I kind of see myself now and where I want to go, I just want to be in a bulk for as long as possible, right? And that's where I think a lot of people struggle, is they are not in a bulk for long enough, or should I say gaining phase for long enough, to put on a decent amount of muscle. So yeah, that's the plan for me. Remember those three things: destination, route, and deadline. They are so important, and don't feel like you cannot set goals after achieving something, or even come back to your goals and go, do you know what, I can see myself going further, and move those goalposts. That's not a bad thing. How many times have you set a goal and it gives you a little bit more focus, it gives you a little bit more drive in life? It's not a bad thing to be goal orientated, right? It's really not. But yeah, I hope you found that useful. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know your goals. But yeah, hope you found that useful.